Hi, this is George Kattouf for AgelessTimeless.com. You know, when I met my first martial arts instructor from Korea, one of the things he said to me was, "You don't squat enough in the West." I didn't quite understand what he meant by that. I thought about it a bit later on and I realized part of that was for eating and some of that might have been bodily functions, which we won't talk about right now, but the main thing is he felt we didn't squat enough. And he's right. The other day I was driving through a parking lot and I saw this elderly gentleman. He had a cane and he was reaching down to pick up a piece of paper or something that he had dropped on the ground. And as I was watching him, he was obviously very diligent and he was not going to let his issues, whatever they may have been, prevent him from picking up that paper. That being said, it was also very heartbreaking to see how much effort he had to put into that. We take it for granted. When little children decide to hinge squat or hinge sit, they do it very easily. They don't even think about it. They just drop down. And as we get older, we take it a bit for granted. We go to get out of a chair, and how do we do it? We push down on the chair to maybe help us up. Later on, if we really have issues, then we need the chair to lift us up so that we can stand. My heart goes out to all those people who are dealing with that. That being said, we all know that by the time we get into our 40s, we start to deal with sarcopenia, the loss of muscle mass. And with time, that will increase. If you have joint issues, see your orthopedic or orthopod or your physician and ask if this exercise that we're going to do is appropriate. Let's do it. One of the things that I do is with all my students, and I do this daily, almost daily, is I simply squat. I don't care if you have your feet out, I don't care if they're in, I just want you to squat. So we squat down, and we try to keep the head up, and the back as straight as possible. And from this position, you're exercising a multitude of musculature. We don't need to go through it all. But in terms of gross muscles, your gluteus maximus, minimus, medius, quadriceps, hamstrings, patellar tendon, soleus, gastrocnemius, to name a few. Come up an inch. Hold that position. Come up an inch. Inch more. Throughout this process, I'm feeling all the muscles being engaged. It's not easy. Looks easy. Come up an inch. You can stretch yourself a little more. Go down an inch. Hold it. Root yourself in. Come up an inch. Up an inch. Down an inch. Whole way up. That may seem relatively easy for you, depending on your fitness level and your age. But the fact that you're doing it slowly might be a different movement than you're used to. When I go to a gym, which I don't do very often anymore, I have my own, but if I go to a gym, I don't always see the squat racks being used. There's a reason for that. People don't like to squat. And unless you're a power lifter or someone that is concerned about leg strength, you may not do that at all. But that compound exercise that we just did is outstanding. I'm going to do it one more time. This time, for those of you that thought that was too easy, I'll grab a 25-pound medicine ball. All right, this time I'll start from the up position. So just hug the medicine ball like it's your best friend. Go down 1 inch. 2, keep your back up straight, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we're almost there, and down into a full squat. Come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up. When you're squatting, everyone thinks it's all knees. It's not. You thrust back, use your glutes. See? Engage. Now, you may be someone with knee issues. And again, get your physician's take on this. But remember, one of the ways that you strengthen your legs and your knees is by getting the muscles engaged. So even if the joints are compromised, the muscles are strong enough to support the joint and the tendons. So, you're a little older, and maybe this seems far too difficult. I'm going to use a chair so that we can use that move. Okay, so perhaps you have some issues with your knees, and the 2 previous exercises seem somewhat cumbersome. Something perhaps that you could not do or do not wish to do right now. Use a chair. There's nothing wrong with that. You support yourself, and you don't have to go the whole way down to the ground. But bend your knees slightly, and remember what I said, you're going to use your glutes. So you're going to push back and just go down a little bit and hold it there. And if that's too easy, drop it a bit more, always holding onto the chair to be secure. Then come up a little bit and up a little bit. Maybe go back down one more time. You don't have to hold the positions. You could just go down briefly, go a little bit lower perhaps. Engage your quadriceps and your hamstrings, glutes, and push back up. One more thing. Try this. The next time you're sitting in a chair, think about how you get up, because what do most people do? They hold on to something, they push down, they may not even realize that they do it. See if you can get to the point eventually, if you have a problem getting up out of a chair. First of all, sit on something a little more sturdy, not a soft chair, but try to push up with your body, not using your hands, so that you can elevate, raise, and go back down. So perhaps what I've just shown seems cumbersome or difficult, or perhaps you don't feel you have the time to do it. In that case, try to build squatting into your daily life. You go to pick something up off the ground, whether you have to support yourself or not, reach down, squat, pick it up. I know most people think that's ridiculous and you do it, but you don't. Think about how we pick things up. Typically we bend over like this and we reach. What you need to do during all your activities is be cognizant of squatting, picking up, and there you go. This is George Kattouf for AgelessTimeless.com. Stay young.